So we opened up an animal park to the public that opens up every Saturday and Sunday. None of the animals that come out to our animal park actually live there. They all live at our home. We use this animal park to educate people on all different types of species of animals. The other really cool part about it is the animals that we use for this. The majority of them have either been rescued or adopted or have been donated to us because people that had them couldn't use them any longer or grew out of the situation that they were in. We started about 8 years ago with a very, very small area where people could come out and meet a sheep, a goat. We had a donkey and a cow. And that was pretty much it. And then we started getting a lot more animals from people donating them to us. Even, a duck someone found and rescued, we took care of them. And it has grown from a small, tiny little petting area at a farmer's market into a decent-sized animal park. And even to this day, we get phone calls and regularly from animals that either need a home or a situation they need to get out of. And it's really turned into an incredible story with something we didn't know was going to become what it is today, which is pretty cool, stuff like that. So those are the two things that I'd say are the hardest for us is, taking care of animals that have been abused or neglected, and then obviously bringing in enough revenue where we can do more for other animals that may be in need. A lot of these animals, they can hurt you really bad, but you have to show them you trust them. So unfortunately, you have to put yourself in kind of, maybe not the smartest situation to show them that you trust them. And if once they see that you trust them, they kind of show it back to you. So, that's an important thing for us is if you get bit, scratched, stepped on, that's not their fault. It's usually our fault. We were in the wrong spot. We weren't maybe listening to what we should have been listening to. And it's just really, really important to really listen to these animals because they talk. By being able to communicate with them is the number one most important thing. I've really figured out for our animals how to communicate, how to figure out if they're happy, how to figure out if they're sad, and how to figure out if they're mad. And in my opinion, that's the most important thing because I could care less about anything else. My most important thing is the animals that we have are extremely happy and are able to tell us if they're not, and we can quickly figure out what the problem is. So as far as an achievement, it might not sound like the coolest thing, but I think learning how to communicate with them, I think is the most important thing we've ever been able to accomplish here. So the number one thing I've learned from working with animals is we try not to, you hear the term animal whisperer or dog whisperer. What I think is the most important thing to learn is instead of talking to animals and telling them to do things, is listen to them. You learn how to communicate with them by listening. So I had a kangaroo come to us that was abused really badly. Didn't trust human beings. He would try to bite you, scratch you, kick you, any chance he got because he was so afraid. And instead of talking to him or telling him anything, all we did is just sat around him, waited for him to trust us. If he bit us, punched us, grabbed us, we did nothing. We didn't even say ow. We didn't tell him no. We just kind of felt really quiet around him. And within 3 or 4 weeks, this kangaroo turned into the most loving animal on the planet. And that was one of the best things we've ever been able to see here is by taking an animal that's so afraid of humans because it was abused by a human to then just giving it time and being super patient with him and him coming up around and warming up to us. And you can even look on my son's page, he has some videos where he's being licked in the face by a pretty big kangaroo. And that kangaroo, when we first got him, he would pee himself. That's how scared he was around people. What I've just learned is really listening and watching these animals. And we don't really tell them what to do. We don't train them to do things. We just try to act more like them. So when we hang out with kangaroos, we kind of sit in a kangaroo kind of way a kangaroo would be around you. And we do that with a lot of our animals. And we have found that when you act a little more like them and they respect it, and they kind of bring you into their group.